Hello and welcome to HITC Sport. Alright, let's get this straight. Manchester City have now established themselves as European giants. They've earned the right to bid for any footballer on the planet. Nowadays, them signing world-class stars is not ridiculous, it's the norm. But go back to the start of Sheikh Mansour era. Sure, they had money, but they were also mid-table fodder with absolutely no European pedigree to back them up. For Christ's sake, Dani Alves didn't even know they existed. As a result, these ambitious owners met rejection time and time again. Let's take a look at the unrealistic footballers they tried to sign at the start of the regime. Cristiano Ronaldo. Maybe this was just Man City's new ownership trying to drum up a bit of hype, but good lord. Back in September 2008, after crash landing in Manchester and dragging in Robinho as a welcome present, the noisy neighbours were talking of all the big money signings they'd soon be making. This though was ludicrous. According to Sulaiman Al Fahim,
Cristiano Ronaldo has said he wants to play for the biggest club in the world, so we will see in January if he is serious. Real Madrid are estimating his value at 90 million, but for a player like that to actually get him, it would cost a lot more. I would think 135 million. But why not? We're going to be the biggest club in the world, bigger than both Real Madrid and Manchester United.
Yeah, Ronaldo probably read this news story and laughed into his morning Weetabix. This was confident talk for a club who'd just been spanked 8-1 up at Middlesbrough. If Ronaldo was going to stay in Manchester, it was not going to be for the team with Wayne Bridge at left back. His options were to either continue his worship status at a club fighting for Champions League titles, or sign for the biggest club on planet Earth. Option C, i.e. end up at a club stopped halfway down the league and battling for Europa League, that wouldn't even exist in his thinking. So they obviously didn't get him and went back to being linked with David Bentley instead. Dimitar Berbatov. Now this would have been how to announce your arrival as the noisy neighbours. All summer, the big transfer saga involved Dimitar Berbatov desperately trying to force his way out of Spurs and get his big money move to Man United. Had Man City, fresh from the last minute takeover, been successful in trying to hijack the deal, they would have established themselves as massive irritants to Sir Alex Ferguson, and let's be honest, it would have probably created a new public enemy number one at Old Trafford. This move obviously didn't happen. Berbatov had his heart set on the move to the European champions. He'd probably got to sleep dreaming about Old Trafford every night for the past 6 months. He wasn't about to go through all this trouble, all this drama, only to swap one mid-table club for another. It would have made absolutely no sense. Ronaldo. Yeah, the City owners had just invested in Man City and obviously wanted to market their brand worldwide. What better way to do it than to snap up one of the biggest names in global football? Yeah, Ronaldo was injury prone, past his best and embarrassed himself in the media, but why would he go to Man City? For a World Cup winning legend of the game? Lads. No. David Villa. Yeah, this would have been one hell of a signing, but let's be honest, the City owners would have had to hope, pray to some kind of god, that David Villa was a player solely motivated by money, because that's the only way he would have come. Because cast your mind back to early 2009, a 27-year-old Villa had already scored over 100 goals for Valencia in just 5 seasons. He top scored at Euro 2008 for victorious Spain. The man was arguably the most sought after striker in world football, and here's City were trying to force through a move despite lying halfway down the league. Listen, dragging in the likes of Rocky Santa Cruz and Blackburn, that was realistic. Not trying to attract David Villa with the offer of mid-table football, Christ above. Understandably, Villa chose to go and win Champions Leagues at Barcelona instead. Fernando Torres. Okay, we all know Man City tried to bid for Fernando Torres throughout the summer of 2010. Considering the Reds would end up in an almost relegation battle at the Roy Hodgson by Christmas, a move the Etihad at the time wouldn't have been so unrealistic. But it was in 2008 when the club first showed an interest. After spanking home 33 goals in his first season at Anfield, after scoring the winning goal in the Euro 2008 final, the City owners wanted Torres. But Christ above, considering the club had just finished 9th in the league while Liverpool were in the top 4, on what planet were they in any position to drag him away from Anfield? It was almost arrogance on the part of the owners to think they had a shot, that Liverpool would just be prepared to release Torres 1 year into his contract, and that Torres would actually want to come? Mental. IKER Casillas.
Manchester City make 150 million bid for Real Madrid's IKER Casillas.
Yeah, Joe Hart should cherish his league winners medals, kiss them every night before bed, because his Man City career could have been over before it even began. Had the owners got their way, IKER Casillas, fresh from lifting Euro 2008, would have been swapping legendary status at boyhood club Real Madrid to go and cash grab him mid-table at just 27 years of age. This would almost have been sad to see. A world-class goalie at the peak of his powers chucking his career ambitions in the bin. I mean, don't get me wrong, this was a monumental offer. At the time, the world transfer record for a goalie was 30 million quid. Man City were offering 4 times that amount. They were also offering to double his £6 million a year wages, but no, it didn't happen, with Casillas choosing to preserve his dignity. Gianluigi Buffon. Wow, Man City really wanted a new goalie. After the move for Casillas collapsed, the club tried to test the loyalty of Gianluigi Buffon with a £250,000 a week contract offer. Lads, if relegation wasn't enough to make Buffon leave Juventus, you really think the lord of life in the rainy northwest of England was? In 2010 he even came out and said this:
"It doesn't surprise me that a lot of big players have turned down Manchester City. The best players in the world want to be playing for the top teams in the top 3 leagues, no more than 5 or 6 teams in Europe. It's a very elite list, and Manchester City have to accept the fact they're not one of them."
City fans might have wanted to point out to Buffon that he'd just been dumped out of the Europa League and goddamn Fulham, but he'd probably wave his World Cup medal in their face. Kaka, just a laughable story. To be fair, this almost worked, but at what cost? In January 2009, the club's first full transfer window, a £91 million bid was accepted by AC Milan, but convincing a Ballon d'Or winner at the peak of his powers to end up at a Europa League club, Kaká was an icon, a world superstar. Yeah, wages of $500,000 a week now are ridiculous. In 2009, they almost threatened to break the sport. But once again, Kaká showed why he's not like some other Brazilians who grab the cash and run. Yes, Robinho, I'm looking at you. And chose to hold out for an actually respectable career decision. You know, one that didn't involve spending his peak years partnering Steven Gerrard in the midfield. Didier Drogba. Yeah, according to reports, the Schalke owners who also spent January 2009 offering the likes of Didier Drogba double your money wages of $180,000 a week. Yes, he had fallen out with Luis Felipe Scolari, but come on. He was not leaving Stamford Bridge for Man City. Just the previous season, he scored 2 in a 6-0 win over this club. If he was going to leave Chelsea, it would have been for a European giant, not a side managed by Mark Hughes. Thierry Henry. This was also ridiculous. Thierry Henry had quit England just 2 years earlier. It took a lot for him to leave Arsenal. The promise of Champions League glory was won, and here he was halfway through a famous treble-winning season, and City tried to lure him back to England. Had he done this, it would have made his reasons to quit Arsenal pointless. City were willing to offer £25 million, big money for a 31-year-old, but Henry was not going to quit a famous treble-winning season halfway through. No chance. KARIM Benzema. Listen, trying to sign a player from a club like Lyon, it's not unrealistic in the slightest, but considering who it was, that made it unrealistic. KARIM Benzema was 20 years of age and ripping up the Champions League. He had the pick of Europe to choose from. Him spurning the advances of Real Madrid and Man United to sign for a club halfway down the Premier League. It would be like if Newcastle were taken over by a shite consortium tomorrow and then chucked in a bid for Erling Haaland. Bit unrealistic, lads. John Terry. Well, you can't blame a club for trying, I suppose, but Christ above. Listen, it was the summer 2009 and I get that City needed defensive reinforcements. Good lord, anything was better than sticking Talbot and Haim on the pitch, but this was one of the most unrealistic plays I've ever seen. Who cares that Richard Dunn won the Player of the Year award about 5 times in a row? Who cares that he was Mr. Reliable and a steady servant to the club? The new owners clearly wanted a shiny new upgrade, but the Chelsea captain, and for a measly £29 million, City had just finished 10th of the league, just the 33 points behind third place Chelsea. Why would Terry, in the prime of his career, want to toss his captain's armband, Chelsea legacy and annual title battles in the bin, to go and earn a fat paycheck at Eastlands? At the time, Mark Hughes almost tried to convince himself, saying a stale Terry needed a change of scenery for the good of his career. Oh Hughes, Terry was clearly using your club to demand a bigger contract at Stamford Bridge. How could you not say that? If you really thought he was going to give up his legacy to sign for a mid-table club with Craig Bellamy up front? Good Christ. Samuel Eto'o. If this was a game of Football Manager, a bid like this would have broken the computer. This was a perfect case of City trying to run before they could walk. Yeah, it's obvious Samuel Eto'o is a man who loves money, and being offered wages of $180,000 a week in 2009, mental. He would have been the best paid player in English football, but having just scored in a Champions League final, having just lifted the goddamn treble with Barcelona, to think he would have thrown it all in the bin to go and sign for... No! Alright, no, he went and won another treble at Inter Milan, which kind of says a lot for where City's stock was in 2009, that Eto'o would rather sign for Jose Mourinho, a man he said he'd never play for back in 2005. Then again, he also said he'd rather sell groundnuts in his village than to sign for a pathetic team like Chelsea, so I guess that man is just a walking bag of contradictions. Steven Gerrard.
Manchester City interested in Steven Gerrard and Fernando Torres.
Yeah, it's the winter of 2009, and sure, Liverpool were struggling under Rafa Benitez and just being dumped out of the Champions League in the group stage, but lads, why were all the papers suddenly linking Steven Gerrard with a move to the Etihad? Had they not been paying attention? He'd already rejected ludicrous wages at Chelsea, a club who at the time were in a one-horse title race with themselves. He'd already turned down guaranteed silverware, so tossing away the captain's armband and legend status to again link up with a Europa League team? Never going to happen, lads. ZLATAN IBRAHIMOVIC. Yeah, we're in the summer 2010 now. Pep Guardiola was trying to ship ZLATAN IBRAHIMOVIC out of Barcelona after just one season, and here was Man City, fresh from failing to qualify for the Champions League, chucking a fat wage under the nose of the Swede. According to Zlatan,
I told him that I wasn't the least bit interested. That was the end of that, but I found out later that they'd agreed to deal with Manchester City completely without my knowledge. Not only that, it was a higher fee than they ended up getting from Milan.
Don't get me wrong, he'd have been a hell of an upgrade on Emmanuel Adebayor, but again, what chance did they have convincing a world-class superstar with the lure of Thursday night football? Christ, look at all these rejections. Wayne Rooney. Here we have Manchester City being played by a Manchester United legend. To be fair, he had his employers eating out of the palm of his hand as well. Remember that week in October 2010 when Wayne Rooney shocked the world with a public transfer request, leading to reports that City were shoving the prospect of £300,000 a week down his throat, only for him to then turn around and sign a new fat 5-year deal at Old Trafford. Again, there was never any chance. Did he really want to become the next Carlos Tevez? Someone who probably got spat at in the street every time he went shopping?
Everyone is saying that I was definitely going to Manchester City. Believe me, if I had gone, it wouldn't have been in England.
You know what, Wayne? I can definitely believe that. Anyway, that's the end of it, lads. Let me know, are there any other unrealistic deals that City tried to do only for them to turn around and reject them? Let me know in the comment section below. City fans, if you think I've been too unfair on you, let me know that as well. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.